Can you believe it is almost 2026? We're wrapping up the year, and in this final season of the year, we wanted to make an episode where we're talking about the top AI tools that we use this year and the top ones that we stopped using this year. So the spicy takes, the AI model roasting is about to come out in full force. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we are using and the tools that we love. So, of course, this is not sponsored, but all of these companies should sponsor us. Drop me a line. But off the cuff with no sponsorships, Connor, what is your top tool that you are using this year with AI?
I mean, look, and you're right. We don't take outside sponsors, but Jaden, it is sort of a good opportunity to sort of say that this year AI Box absolutely crushed it. And if we're about to talk about like these large language models and other tools, and just remember, for just $19 a month at AIbox.ai, AIbox.ai, Jaden's company, you can have all of these tools and compare them side by side, compare images, compare everything side by side. It's amazing. Build your own little mini agents in there, everything. It's absolutely phenomenal. Check that out. Jaden, for me, there's one glaring one that I think I'm just going to stop paying for. A lot of these things I just kind of pay for, and then I just sort of like stop because other things are just getting too good. So let me just sort of like say this. I'm just going to sort of like give you my 4 that I use, and then I'll talk about like maybe how I use them. But this isn't in a specific order because I use them for different things. But no question, of course, ChatGPT. That's in there. ChatGPT is still sort of like, kind of king of the mountain a little bit. I will also say number 2, Claude 4.5 Opus. Guys, I can't tell you how many people I meet that haven't used Claude yet. Jaden, you would love this. Last night, Finn had been struggling with this coding problem. He's a junior, and he'd been working for literally days, and then literally all night on this one bug. He could not figure it out. He couldn't figure it out. I'm like, hey,
I feel the
have you
pain.
run this? That's what I'm saying. You know this
I
better
was
than
a
anybody else. I'm like,
developer, but my wife is a developer, or she studied computer science, and I sat in the computer lab for many, many hours with her at college trying to debug things.
Jaden, it's something I've never done before, so I don't understand. So you can imagine when I tell Finn, have you tried Claude? Finn looks at me strangely because he's like, I thought you only use Claude for writing, because I do. Claude, phenomenal writer. So let me just sort of say, as I'm going through, number 1 for me, ChatGPT, why it's the everyman. It's everything I go to. Hey, what about this play setting? Hey, what's this thing on my arm? Hey, I just spilled coffee. How do I do this? ChatGPT is just the go-to. I just kind of go to it. It's simple. It's easy. It's on my phone, et cetera, et cetera. Claude, unbelievable. 4.5 Opus is, I'm not sure, it's not the best model, Jaden. I don't know what to tell you. I just, for the last 6 months or so, or maybe 3 months, I've just thought Claude has been unbelievable. It writes so well. It thinks so well. It's so unbelievably powerful. I'm constantly blown away. It's also a co-CEO with me for AI Mindset, which is a big consulting and training company that we work with big companies about this. The third one, Gemini, when 3 came out, it changed everything. I wasn't really using Gemini before that. 3 came out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. And I started using that also as a co-CEO. Side on that, Nano Banana Pro, holy smokes, changed the way that we do infographics, everything else. Robert can now spin it up in like 2 seconds as just a model. And then the fourth, Copilot. Boy, Copilot made leaps and bounds this year. Now, listen, whatever you sort of like think like about sort of like, oh, Copilot, Microsoft, guys, go back and try these things. Okay, I beg you, because when I hear people being like, oh, well, I was trying Copilot, but it wasn't working that well. That's not the case anymore. Copilot's really, really powerful. And so when I'm using it, because I'm like in Word, I'm in Excel all the time, it's an incredibly powerful tool. And also I'm just like, inside companies that use Copilot, so they always want to learn like how to use Copilot. So I'm in Copilot all the time. And then, Jaden, I got to just like, we're talking about like who we're going to throw into the bus. I know it's Christmas season, but I got to tell you, Jaden, Midjourney. I think this is the year that I'm stopping my monthly subscription to Midjourney. Midjourney was a revelation. And I just have to let it go. It's not nearly as simple. It's not as intuitive. The model is very, very, very good, but I just don't need it anymore. Jaden, thoughts?
100%. I think it's super interesting because this was like the best image generation model. I mean, when ChatGPT came out, Midjourney was already out and crushing it, had a massive user base. It seemed like this unstoppable giant. And they did a bunch of, I think, just like basically poor business decisions, I think, that left them a little bit in the dust. They're like super cool and retro and punk, and that they don't want to like raise any outside money. They don't want to like work with other people. And I don't know if you remember this, but a few months back, I actually remember hearing that they had done one of their very first deals, which was with Meta. They got like this exclusive deal to be the image generator inside of Meta, but the problem is nobody uses Meta. It's really just not a very used AI tool. And so because the model itself was just kind of fell behind in like basically every benchmark. And so with that, it's just they never got the distribution they needed. If they wanted to be successful, you could have asked me this 2 years ago for the free advice, Midjourney, the advice I'm sure you don't want, but like basically build an API for goodness sakes the developers can put into a product. There is no official API for Midjourney. So AI Box, my software company, where you can try over 40 different models on it, no Midjourney. People ask me all the time, oh, you're going to add Midjourney? Impossible. They have like third-party APIs, but they break and they're glitchy and also like sketchy. They could ban you if you use them. There's all these like, this crap. Build a simple API, integrate with some major AI models, make a good deal. I mean, I think we saw, honestly, like the opposite story was a model called Flux, which basically got absolutely leap started when it signed up with Grok on XAI and it became the image generation model that powered Grok. Flux exploded. Now it just raised like in some insane amounts of money if you go look up Flux. And that's all because they just made some good partnerships. They weren't too cool. They weren't too good for anyone. And so anyways, yeah, same. I'm on the same boat with Midjourney. I did a ton with it at the beginning, not doing anything with it now. And I think Google and OpenAI have caught up in like pretty well, where you can basically use them for everything and more, and they're way simpler and built into an AI model. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you have anything else added on.
No. I was gonna ask you just sort of like, so you move from Midjourney, you're sort of like using image generators like in those other things. All right, give us your top ones that you're using these days.
Okay. We've talked a lot about text. We've talked a lot about image. We have not talked about audio yet. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that one of my number one used AI tools today, and obviously this is because of the nature of my business, but it is 11 Labs for audio. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it is so good. 11 Labs is so good. I'm like, my finger right now is hovering over the $1,300 a month tier, and I might click it. I almost clicked it this morning. I might click it this afternoon.
$1,300 a month you spend on 11 Labs.
So I'm a bit of a mad scientist in this regard because I do a lot with audio. I do video, I do podcasts, I do a lot of marketing stuff for companies. I own a podcast studio in Arizona. I work with a lot of clients. Well, my editor works with a lot of clients on this kind of stuff. So I'm doing a lot, and I'm also a bit of a mad scientist, so I experiment a lot. I've, in the last week, started 3 new podcasts. I know Connor is going to have like he needs to have like he needs to go talk to someone to stop me because I'm going way overboard. But I started a history podcast, a fitness podcast, and a finance podcast. And all of these, this is an experiment. We'll see what happens, guys. All right. You'll never find them. They're out in the wild, hidden somewhere, but they're clones of my voice talking. And they are scripts written by ChatGPT. Now I've went on a pretty in-depth custom GPT where I've trained it to talk exactly like me with all of my phrases, given it like a bunch of guidelines and so that it can't kind of go off the rails or anything. And I've pre-selected all of the titles. I then have a virtual assistant that will go and generate podcasts in these different genres, and we're testing out. We're in the arena testing things out. I will say I have a history show that is popping off and going viral, which is exciting because I actually listen to AI history shows on YouTube. I know people are probably think that's like shocking, but I just think history doesn't change that much. The model's not going to hallucinate. And I want unlimited information about the Roman Empire. So sue me, okay? I listen to AI-generated Roman Empire podcasts. They're super fascinating. So I have started a history podcast. It is doing insanely well. And I have a couple new ones that I'm doing. In order to do that, I'm testing a ton of different stuff. I've dialed down. 11 Labs is the tool for it. I will one of these days play for you, Connor, an episode, and you would never be able to guess it wasn't me talking. So 11 Labs is incredible for audio.
Yeah, I know it. And I mean, like the 11 Labs stuff that I was doing like last year, a year and a half ago, even that was indistinguishable, which is absolutely unbelievable. And so I can't even imagine how good it is now. I still subscribe to 11 Labs because it's only like for me, it's like $6 a month. It's totally worth it just to have it. The other thing we subscribe to, Jaden, HeyGen. Okay. So we do a lot of experimenting around this because it's really, really good. Like, to kind of create AI avatars, especially, and just to sort of like given sort of like peek behind the scenes, like, we kind of think like, well, do we want to sort of like start another channel, kind of like how Jaden has channels behind the scenes, another channel where it's like my avatar talking. We haven't done it because everything on my flagship stuff has to be sort of like super authentic and super me and all that kind of stuff. But I think the theme here that you guys are seeing and hearing is just keep trying these tools. And also sort of like to Jaden's point too, what is it that you need to do, right? Because that mad scientist mentality is an amazing sort of like approach to life in this, because if you are sort of like, trying to create new things or something like that, like look for the tools that do that. And there aren't that many that you need. You need a great large language model. You need 11 labs. Maybe you need HeyGen. You need a great image generator attached to, and Nano Banana Pro is about as, it will do everything you need to do. And that's it, guys. Like you can go and create unbelievable stuff in 2026. And when in the new year, we're going to sort of like do a few podcasts on that. But I am super excited about that. Jaden, last thoughts on any of this?
Yeah, don't you dare wrap it up. I have more things to say, but I'll try to be quick. Okay, and I hate talking about 11 Labs so much. I just have to give you one other use case that I actually think is applicable to a lot of people. That is language translation with 11 Labs is so freaking good. So on my other show, AI Chat, I have 11 Labs. I should do it for this show too, Connor. But I have 11 Labs, a virtual assistant. They will take the audio file of that episode, put it into 11 Labs, and it will translate like my voice, me talking exactly what I say, into like 5 other languages. So I have a French podcast, a German podcast, a Mandarin, Spanish, and Ukrainian for some reason. I got a lot of listeners in Ukrainian. I don't know why. I tested out 26 different languages, which use like so many credits. But then I hunkered down. German and French are my number one, which is funny because I actually speak French, but the 11 Labs makes me sound so much better speaking French. Perfect. So we use that. The only other things I'll say that I'm subscribing to, in addition to basically everything that Connor already mentioned, is Descript is amazing for video editing. Yep. Riverside's amazing for video editing. Both of those have amazing AI features on them. And I can't think of anything else, but we'll make a follow-up.
Let me throw one other one. I don't know if you use Canva, which is another one that's just like,
yes, of course. I've been a premium Canva payer for like 2 years, and I use their AI stuff all the time. Every time it's like a photo of my face, I make it so it like AI is my face, so it looks better, removes my like, acne or anything like that. It's great. Canva is amazing. They'll also do image fill. So like sometimes I have an image and it's not quite big enough to fit on the template I'm using. So I'll have AI fill out the edges of the images. It does a really good job on that. Oh my gosh. The other thing that I have to say that Descript does that's so cool is it does eye contact. So if you make a video of yourself talking to your camera, but you're not looking straight at the camera because you're reading a script, on Descript, it has an AI that will make it look like your eyes are looking straight at the camera. It is so amazing.
By the way, more and more, the CapCut does that now too. CapCut, all this AI stuff is in all of this stuff now, guys. This is I get asked questions all the time, like, which tool should you use? I'm like, AI is in everything. Keep the tools that you already loved. AI, I guarantee, is being built in.
100%. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into the podcast today. I'm going to cut Connor off because I know he's got 100 other tools that he's just dying to tell us about and companies that he's dying to roast. We'll do a whole nother episode on this. Thanks so much. Hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas holiday season, everything that you celebrate this time of year, and of course, a happy new year. And also make sure to leave a rating and review on the podcast as our final end of year Christmas present to us. Thank you so much. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.